Namaskar. Today is April 16th, 2026. Each year on March 14, I begin a 100-day journey in returning to the essence of yoga towards the celebration of International Day of Yoga on June 21st. This year I chose to revisit Maharshi Patanjali's Yoga Sutra and share my daily practices of 100 days inspired by the Yoga Sutra. My returning to the essence of yoga every year around this time, it's not as a ritual or performance or any aesthetic reason, but as awareness. This is Satvik Yogi Path, a simple, non religious, global way of living with clarity. Over the last few days, we learned day 30 about 9 obstacles. On day 31, we explored the 4 symptoms through body and breath that appear due to these obstacles, but when the mind is disturbed. On day 32, Patanjali gives us a solution to overcome these obstacles. And the solution is one steady practice. Yesterday, on day 32, we explored the 4 attitudes which can instantly purify the mind. Today, Maharshi Patanjali tells us that there is another way, a direct way that our mind can be steadied. And it is Yoga Sutra 1.34. Prachardana, Prachardana Vidharanabhyam va pranasya. I'll recite it again. Prachardana Vidharanabhyam va pranasya, which means the mind becomes steady through gentle exhalation and a natural pause after exhale. The mind becomes steady through one gentle exhalation and a natural pause after the exhale. We are going to find out how this breath will be the bridge to clarity. So if I have to, I've been reading this book called Four Chapters of Freedom by Swami Satyanand Saraswati. And I'm going to share a little bit about this Yoga Sutra, that what I could make from this book about this sutra is that the breath is the most immediate and accessible tool for calming the mind. I'm sure many of you knew this. The breath, the shwas, prashwas, the inhalation, exhalation, the breath is the most immediate and accessible tool for calming the mind instantly. And he emphasizes that the exhalation is naturally relaxing. The pause after exhalation creates inner stillness. The mind follows the rhythm of the breath. When the breath becomes quiet, the mind becomes quiet. He describes the sutra as a direct, practical doorway into steadiness, a method that requires no posture, no technique, no preparation. You are already doing it. Just a soft exhale, just a gentle pause. This is why this sutra is so universal. It works for children, seniors, beginners, and advanced practitioners. It works in daily life, in stress, in silence, in movement. It is the simplest way to return to yourself. I'd like to share my reflection on my Sunday classes. In my Sunday classes, I always begin with this sutra, Yoga Sutra 1.34, because it teaches something very simple and very human. When the mind is disturbed, start with the breath, not with philosophy or discipline or effort. Just a soft exhale, just a soft exhale. And this is why we begin our classes with slow breathing. And this is why we pause before we move. This is why we soften the exhale before any posture, because the breath is the bridge. When the breath becomes quiet, the mind follows. So, we are going to learn about the two methods. The most simple and yet the most powerful method of yoga. One exhalation, slow exhalation, one brief pause, and the mind becomes lighter. So let's find out the method how to do. What is prachardana? Prachardana. It's a gentle, complete exhalation. So when I say gentle, complete exhalation, in your mind, just think about it's so gentle, so slow. Take it easy, go slow. The exhalation without strain, without pushing, without effort. Swami Satyanand explains that the exhale releases tension from the body and mind. Are you ready to practice? You look ready. And what is the second method? Vidharana. Remember the Yoga Sutra? Prachardana vidharanabhyam va pranasya. So now the second method is vidharana, the natural pause after exhalation. Not holding the breath forcefully, just allowing a small, effortless pause before the next inhale arrives on its own. And Swami Satyanand, he describes the pause as a moment where the mind rests in its stillness. The pause after the exhale, where the mind rests in its stillness. Okay, to even make it more clearer, let's again this quiet lake, that lake analogy I will give. So, the fog clearing analogy I'm going to share with you. When the breath becomes soft, the mind becomes clear. The way the fog lifts from a quiet lake. Have you ever been to watching in a time? morning time or any time when there's fog. I've been many times local lake. Even I would sometimes I'd been very early in the morning with my mat, but it's I can't see anything because it's fog, and then letting the fog clear on its own, and it is such a wonderful experience. So that experience I'm sharing. So the way the fog lifts from a quiet lake, the fog lifts, and then you can see everything clear. Nothing dramatic, nothing forced, just a gentle clearing. In moments of stress, we often try to control the mind directly with thoughts, logic, or willpower. Has it ever happened to you? Of course, it has happened to me. That's the natural first tendency, I would say, that in moments of stress, I try to think, give me some willpower or some thought and give some logic. But Patanjali, Maharishi Patanjali reminds us that the breath is the bridge. When the breath softens, the mind follows. How easy, how simple can this be? That in moments of stress, instead of feeding me with thoughts, willpower, or reasoning, maybe just if I practice the gentle exhalation, maybe the pause after the exhalation, the mind will follow. So, why the sutra matters, that the breath is the bridge to clarity, why this matters in our practice? The breath and mind are deeply connected. Exhalation is the key to calming the mind. Steadiness comes from softness, not force. A natural pause creates inner peace. Clarity is one gentle breath away. I just threw in that there. So, what are we going to practice today? Today, we practice soft, complete exhalation. Mark the word soft, complete exhalation. And then a natural pause after the exhale. And then slow breathing without strain and returning to steadiness through the breath. Are you ready? Before we go into our stillness practice, let me give a shout out to Chantal Jagesar 7970. I'm so sorry if I mispronounced your username. Thank you so much for joining. That's amazing. Kitty Queen 6911. So wonderful. I just simply loved your username. Chant a Jagasar. I'll practice again. Chantal Jagasar 7970 and Kitty Queen 6911. Thank you so much for joining, because I'm ready to practice stillness with you. So, how do we do that? The first one is soft exhale. So, what are we going to do in soft exhale or prachardana? Prachardana, the soft exhale. We breathe out slowly. So, take your time. We breathe out slowly as if we are releasing tension from the body. Let's practice. Prachardana. So, Remember, sit comfortably. But when I say sit comfortably, back and spine straight, chin slightly tucked in. Roll your shoulder if you have to, and take natural breath. Just few normal breaths. We are practicing prachardana or soft exhale, gentle, soft exhale. So breathe in, soft exhale. We do this two more times. So we inhale and then soft exhale. And to maybe counting will help you a bit. So if you count your inhalation, maybe two, and soft, either you can double your exhalation or you can just go more than the double. So it's up to you. But make sure it's soft. You're not pushing hard to, you're just releasing tension from the body with soft exhale. So let's do this two times. I'll count to two and I'll try to take that slow exhalation, not much, but maybe more than four. I'll try. You can do your own countings. Breathe in, one, two. Breathe out, two, three, four. Breathe in, two. Breathe out, two, three, four, five. And you may open your eyes. So, to gently exhale in releasing the tension from your body, your exhalation will eventually get slower because you're not pushing, you're not doing it by force, you're just letting exhalation go gentle. So that's our first method, which is soft exhale. Soft exhale. Prachardana. Now let's move on to our second method, which is the natural pause after the exhale. The natural pause. And how we do it, we just take a natural pause. Let the breath rest for a moment without holding. We are not holding our breath. As we exhale slowly, gently, we take a natural pause without effort, without holding the breath. Let's do it. Again, back and spine straight, chin slightly tucked in. You're in a good posture. Breathe in. Slow exhale. Pause. Before the next inhalation comes naturally, exhale. Pause. And the last, inhale. Exhale. And the pause. So that's the natural pause after the exhale. Natural, very gentle. We are not holding our breath. We are just pausing for a moment after the exhale. And our third stillness practice is we gently inhale. We allow the next breath to come on its own. So we are not hasting. So we breathe out the tension from our body, slow exhale, then take a natural pause. We are not rushing, we are not holding, and then let the next inhale comes naturally. The next breath comes natural. Let it come on its own, and we repeat few cycles. Remember the breath cycle? We inhale, exhale, pause, inhale, exhale, pause. So that's our two breath cycles. So let's do it. We do it two times. Remember to pause naturally, and the next breath will come on its own. No hasting, no hurrying up, just give it time. Now we are concentrating on our inhale, gentle inhale. And open your eyes. How important we 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 breathe, right? Like throughout the day we just breathe, but there is someone sometime wrote a comment. I have already responded to that comment, and one of the viewer, thank you for sharing a very valuable comment that we, each one of us, we have a set of breaths that we can take or we can exhale or inhale. So what we are practicing here is how we can make our breaths, we choose to take breaths and let it come naturally, the gentle way, and exhale gently, softly, not rushing through things, and then take the natural pause after the exhale. So, that is exactly what we are practicing here, the gentle inhalation, the soft exhalation, and then the natural pause before the next breath we take. So, the last one from the stillness practices, bhavna, the contemplation. So, here, what we will do is we will practice the gentle inhalation and the softer exhalation with a pause, natural pause after the exhale, before just before the next breath comes in. But in bhavna, we will hold one thought. So that thought could be anything. Remember, we explored the four attitudes yesterday: friendliness, compassion, joy, and the last one was equanimity. So you can either hold one attitude out of that. Yesterday I had chosen friendliness. So now maybe I'll hold on to one thought, and that is okay. Let me try compassion. So you can try any thought. You can hold any thought. It could be, your thought could be about maybe writing a book. Just hold that thought. You don't chase, you don't become, you don't follow that thought. Just hold that thought. So let's do this. Bhavna, contemplation. And in holding the thought, in contemplating the meaning, you would naturally inhale, gently exhale, and the natural pause after exhale. So we do it 2 times. Let's do. Again, back and spine straight, chin slightly tucked in, and make sure you're not sitting, if you're seated like me, not sitting on your tailbone. You're very well using the whole surface area of your seating muscles and the bones. So you are very well using the whole surface area, but not on your tailbone. So we are practicing bhavna. And I have chosen compassion out of the 4 attitudes that purify the mind. So, compassion and natural inhalation, gentle, slow exhalation, the natural pause until the next inhalation, slow exhalation, and the pause. And open your eyes. Great. So, today we are here already, day 34 challenge. Today, take one soft exhale. That's the challenge. Before responding to something, it could be a message, a situation, or a thought. So choose, you would make sure that you take one soft exhale. And remember the soft exhale meaning that you exhale gently before a message, before a situation, or a thought. That's the challenge. One breath, one pause, one moment. Thank you for showing up again on day 24, 34. Day 34 reminds us that the breath is the simplest path back to steadiness. The breath is the simplest path back to steadiness. Thank you for practicing with me today. We meet again tomorrow. Until then, stay warm, stay open, and stay honest to your own story.